Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. We are in my kitchen right now because I thought for this week's video, which is a Q&A, it would be cute to also bake while I answer your guys' questions and just chat with y'all and catch up. I've been wanting to bake this banana bread. I bought it at Trader Joe's. I really enjoy it. It's delicious. And my mom and her friend are coming to stay with me this weekend, tomorrow actually. My mom always does cute things like that for me whenever I come back to Massachusetts and stuff. So I thought, why not return the favor? So I thought we'll do it. And it's literally like 3 ingredients. It's gonna take me like 10 seconds to make this. So we'll obviously move the Q&A to my room after. Yeah, I wish it would end up looking like this. That is not the serve I'm going for. I had bought though bananas to maybe do something like this, or like put like a slice of a banana on top, like for a little garnish, kind of cute, kind of fun. But they're not too ripe. But my mom's funny. I think she likes kind of like a non-ripe banana. Like she likes when they're a little green. She's crazy. I know people like that sometimes and prefer it. So I'm gonna use this guy, probably the most yellow, most ripe nanner, and this will be our garnish. I'll show you guys what we're doing. But this is a Q&A. I asked you guys questions on my Instagram. That's where I'll always ask questions for any of my Q&As, any of my like styling question videos, updating you on like when a video is gonna be posted, etc. So definitely follow me on Instagram because that's where I kind of ask my YouTube inquiries. You guys asked some amazing questions. We're gonna get into it. I screenshotted some, but I definitely want to like dive back in and see if there are any more that have popped up since the last time I checked and stuff like that. So let's just start our baking. I also like don't know if I'm feeling this neck piece with this look I've got going on here. It's really cute. It's by my friend Kate. She made it. This is her brand. And she actually has a new collection coming out very soon. And I'm modeling for it. I'm hoping I will be able to vlog it next week actually. So that would be really fun. The mix that I'm using, if you're curious, I find it very delicious, is the banana bread mix from Trader Joe's. Very simple, very easy. I'm scared this is gonna go everywhere. Let me get some scissors. Oh my god, I forgot. This backsplash is now a mirror, so if you guys can see my sweatpants, don't talk about it. An easy question I can start out with is, oh my god, it smells so fucking good. So fucking good. First question is, what's your zodiac sign? Ew. I'm a Leo. I'm a July Leo. My birthday's July 26th. My big 3. If you guys want to analyze me, if you're into astrology, big 3. I'm a double Leo. So I'm a Leo rising, I'm a Leo sun, and Capricorn moon. And before y'all get into the Capricorn moon, I don't want to talk about it. It makes sense. I feel like there's always part of me that's like so stubborn. Like it's like so insanely practical and like doesn't let me do my impulsive ideas or like sometimes just like my creative fun ideas because I'm just like, you're not gonna be able to blah, 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 you know? I also don't really know what it means, but I've talked to some of my friends that know astrology a bit better, and yeah, that fits. Yeah, that checks out. I think astrology is cool. And who am I to say it's not real? Because floating on a rock, babe. Like, it's just, the whole world doesn't make sense. And like, it's so ridiculous that like any ridiculous thought or idea or concept, who am I to say that it's ridiculous? Because again, gravity is like the only thing keeping me from like absolutely just like floating up into space right now. Like, honestly, like if you guys had the chance to go to space, would you? Would you? You know? Because I wouldn't. Is it true that Pete Davidson's going to fucking space? Is that actually true? Because I know the boys like Elon and Bezos are like taking their besties like on a joyride or whatever on their spaceships. Who's the one that looks like a penis? Is that Jeff Bezos's? Like, I wish Freud was here to see that. Yeah, I just think it would really fuck with my perspective, and it would change my life forever. Like, if I went to space for a little and came back here to like carry on my life, I would like lose my mind. Okay. You need 2 eggs. So I'm gonna crack those. But then, oh my god, I just cracked it on my counter. Didn't even mean to. The next question is, what was your dream job growing up? And this made me laugh because I immediately was like a background dancer. Like I actually like wanted to be a background dancer so bad. Ideally Beyonce's. I never did dance competitively. I always just like did dance for fun. I like never did a sport or like an activity to be competitive with it. And like, I just am not an inherently competitive person, and maybe it's like a deeper issue. Maybe I can't take things seriously. Maybe it's a confidence issue. I never think I'm like good enough to actually like compete or whatever. You know, I'm always just like, I'm not a competitive person. Like maybe it's deeper than that, which like we can talk about like in therapy. I remember in high school, I always wanted to like join a sport just to go to the pasta dinners because it like literally seemed so fun. But then I did hip hop. I literally did hip hop in, was it my senior year? I don't know, but it was giving, like it was honestly like just for fun. I had a recital and that shit was goofy. Here's my recital outfit. Can you guys believe that? Can you guys believe this? I'm making fun of it in these poses. Please do not think I'm being serious. 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. Okay. All the liquids are in. Let me go get a whisk. Look how cute. It's so little. Kieran got this for me. So cute. Speaking of Kieran, Kieran's my boyfriend, if you guys didn't know. I got a lot of questions on relationship advice. How did you and Kieran meet? How did you and Kieran like stay long distance for so long? Like long distance advice in general. And it's like, want to give advice. I just feel like everybody's so different, and it like is so dependent on if both partners, how bad they kind of like want to stay together in terms of a long distance relationship. Like you kind of both have to be like super dedicated to it, making time for it. But it's interesting because you see, I had a feeling that was going to happen. That's just like honestly classic. Funny, like long distance relationships, they have this like kind of awful reputation. At least that's kind of like how they were viewed when I was graduating high school, going into college, you know, like people staying with each other through college was always looked at like, will they make it? Or like everybody had like an opinion on it. Like I remember like kind of feeling that way. And I never anticipated that I would be going into college in a long distance relationship, considering I met Kieran the February of my senior year of high school, you know? So like all through high school, didn't really date. But of course the first ever like serious real relationship I've ever had turns out being long distance. Yep, classic. That's my laundry, finish my thought. But you know, there's that whole thing about college is where you grow up. It's where you learn about yourself. It's where you develop. You have your own kind of life, like separate from all that you've been used to, you know, things like that. But people often think like when you're in a long distance relationship, you know, you're dating somebody, you have somebody in the back of your mind all the time. You can't grow, you can't be independent. You can't do those things because you're dating somebody. I beg to differ. I think like going to the same college as your significant other would maybe lead to that, right? Because like you're dependent on them there physically. For me, it's like Kieran and I both like very much just like jumped into our environments where we went to school, meeting new people. Like we were very understanding of like, I'm in orientation, like I'm not gonna be able to like text you a bunch, or like I'm going out with these people, or like I'm doing this. Or like, you know, I've got homework. Like it's a new type of rhythm that you kind of just have to like adjust to. Like I'm not saying it was perfect at all or we're the blueprint, because we're not. Like it's definitely been very difficult. I've definitely like had terrible moments where I look back and I'm like, she was on her petty shit. Again, it's a whole nother side of you that's growing and developing and you're learning about. It's like how you behave in a relationship, how you behave in a long distance relationship. It's just like a lot of learning about you, and like some people like that's overwhelming to have to deal with that on top of school and being in a new place and all of that. And so I get that it doesn't work out. I understand that it doesn't work out for many reasons for other people, but thankfully we've been able to make it work. It's been very cool. I've always kind of been a bit more like independent, I guess, and doing the things that I've kind of always wanted to do. I was very comforted by the fact that like I would be able to do my own thing, but like have somebody that loves me and cares for me and that's like always going to be there and I can always talk to them was very comforting. I don't know, maybe I'm like sugarcoating it and like not talking about the hard stuff, which like I don't want to say it's not hard. It's so hard. Like, you know, I didn't have Greek life at my school. Kieran did, joined a frat like almost immediately. And that was all new to me. Like did not know that lifestyle, did not know like what that vibe was. Rush, like all of that was crazy. And okay, 4 more minutes. That's my signal to be like, wrap this up, babe. But communication's huge. I know people always say that. but it's true. Trying to plan like visits so that you have like something to look forward to is always great. Kieran and I would always like plan them around like our syllabi that we got to like see like when we would have the most amount of work, which was always nice. So then we tried to avoid like having to do homework like whenever we would visit. He's a year younger than me, so he's finishing his senior year right now. I don't know, it was a beautiful thing to like grow independently on my own and reflect on those things in a relationship with somebody doing the same thing on their own timeline and their own path. And like, it's cool. Like it honestly is like really cool. And I think having that kind of like independence in your relationship helps create the foundation that like for your future, you're not going to be so dependent on them because you had these years, you like work on your communication. And I feel like those skills are really good to have when you're finally not long distance. Kieran and I have been calling him my remote boyfriend, and we're like, can't wait to be in person. This is probably incredibly hard to follow. I guess my 3 pieces of advice would be like plan visits. You have those like reoccurring times where you are seeing each other and you don't go like too long of a time where you're not seeing each other, if that's possible. I know that's not possible for some people. Communicate, plan times to FaceTime, like check-ins, watching those movies. I forget what the website is. You like watch a movie together at the same time and like you're on FaceTime and you see each other. Like planning like remote dates is always like fun and like really cute. And yeah, like all of those things like definitely help, but in the end it's like you both gotta want to be in it, you know? I'm just going to spray my pan. I don't have a cute like bread tin. I wish I did. I have these, which is like a casserole dish, you know? I like make like Brussels sprouts in here. Okay, she greased up. I'll finish up like the relationship questions because somebody else asked, hold on, let me get a spatula. Somebody else asked how Kieran and I met. And like if we've been long distance like from the start of our relationship. And basically, so yeah, we met in February of my senior year of high school. So then we had like that summer together. And then I guess that August, September, I like moved to New York, moved into Fordham. He was still back in Massachusetts doing his like senior year of high school. And so yeah, I mean like pretty soon after we started dating, it was like we were long distance, which is like crazy because again, like I was saying, like I never anticipated that I would be in a long distance relationship. Couldn't even visualize me being in like a relationship in general. How we met, I feel like I answered this in a Q&A, but a while ago. I haven't done one of these in a while. I'll make it short and sweet. Now I have a different perspective on service trips. We met on a service trip and it was to Guatemala. I had gone on like multiple trips already there. I know service trips are like super controversial and like very much like white savior energy, and like I just obviously didn't see it back then. And I've talked with my friends about service trips and stuff. Like I know there can be ones that are good. I had the most amazing times on those trips. Like I am definitely thankful and proud of the work that we did do, but it, you know, it's complicated. But he basically joined the group very late, so he wasn't at any of like the pre-trip stuff because somebody dropped out last minute. He joined. First time I saw him was at like 2:30, like leaving for the airport, and I was like, who's this man? Because he's 6'5", so he was like very tall and like stuck out. And like no, service trips are not a place where you particularly flirt and find your man. So also wasn't anticipating coming out of there with like a literal boyfriend. Happens when you least expect it is kind of my brand. Yeah, we were put in the same work small group and we just like got to know each other a bunch like throughout the week, and it was a lot of fun, and we were just chatting and like flirting through conversation. There was like one night when like people were like doing stuff or whatever, Kieran like pulled me and just kind of asked me like, I'd love to take you on a date when we get back home, like all this stuff, la-di-da, I really like you. And I was like, I really like you too. Like, and I remember he called me beautiful and I literally almost shit my pants. So then we FaceTimed when we got home while we were unpacking, and we went on like a couple dates, and literally from then and on we've been dating. I'm gonna cut this banana, put it on top, sprinkle some cinnamon, and I'll show you what it looks like before she goes in. So I clearly had like a shitty banana and this part ripped off, so we went with just this little bit. It's silly looking, but it's cute. Sprinkled some cinnamon sugar, it'll be yum. Let's go to my room to finish our Q&A moment. Yeah, what you just saw behind me was a big pile of clothes, and I'm going to talk about that actually right now. Yeah, okay, when I was walking over, if you guys saw that big pile of clothes, that is a whole chunk of clothing that I would like to sell, ideally at a closet sale. I have a whole another pile basically that my mother, when she was here and I was not, took home because she thought I wanted to bring it home to Massachusetts to like sell there, because I like to do that sometimes. So I have like 2 piles, one in Massachusetts, one in New York, that I all want to sell together. So I need to figure out when I'm going to get the clothing that's back in Massachusetts back here, so I can do the closet sale here. Going back to the point of this literal video, somebody asked would I ever do a closet sale or like a Depop drop sale. And like I've thought about doing Depop honestly, because I'm like, I just want to get the shit out of my apartment. Like I don't want to wait for the rest of the clothes, but I would love to do a closet sale, and then I want to wait for the rest of the clothes so I have like a bunch of stuff to sell to you guys. Because like I just want to do something in person and meet y'all, and like it sounds like so much fun. Every time I've gone to a closet sale, they're so much fun. So I really want to make that happen. It's just like being prolonged because I need to get the rest of my clothing. Yeah, that's going to happen, and if it doesn't, I'll just do a Depop drop. But again, probably on Instagram is where I'll be talking about that most. Not to be like a crazy Instagram promo today. Loving my segues. Let's segue into that. Somebody asked me, how did you grow your Instagram? Y'all, I don't know. Like, okay, basically my Instagram blew up this past year. Like I've never had followers. I've never had a following, you know? And it literally just happened this year. I've been posting fashion lifestyle content. I've done YouTube since 2017 with one of my good friends, Ellie. I've been in the social media sphere, been trying to like make it work. I wanted a following. I always wanted this to happen, but I always did it so that it was like fun. Never tried to like make it a business and like actually research like what works, and like posting every day, posting at a certain time, like doing reels, doing TikTok, doing like, I mean, those things weren't around back then, but like now they are. And it's like I probably could try to like grow more by like getting on TikTok, like doing reels, jumping into that. I mean, maybe I'll do more TikToks, but it's like for me, I just go on it to like laugh, and I don't want to think about fashion and lifestyle and like what I did on New York Fashion Week. Like that's not my For You page. It's literally just like shit that makes me laugh, and like emergency intercom little snippets. Brittany Broski, oh I fucking love. And like I feel like I need a social media platform that isn't so like outfit inspo, what I did in New York City, like hauls and shit, because that also is my life and my work. And so I think I would like lose my goddamn mind if everything I was seeing was just like content. And I know this question wasn't about why aren't you doing TikTok, so let me go back to my main point. Basically, I think what kind of caused a shift in my growth, I think, was when I joined back on YouTube again. They helped me point people to my Instagram, so that was like some way people were finding it. And then I think fashion accounts, like fashion reposting accounts, found my outfits and were reposting them. It was like really bizarre because I like it just like kind of started happening, and I didn't know how people were really finding me. I just kind of kept doing the same thing I was doing. I think I was maybe posting more photos because I had more time to take photos. I got really into like mood boarding, making edits on Photoshop. When I moved back into my apartment in New York, we started posting like more content. Was definitely like back in my like creative zone. I didn't have my clothing with me. I only had my suitcase from abroad. So that changed a lot moving back into New York, just like posting more and me kind of realizing my personal style more. I engaged with other creators and stuff. But other than that, that's kind of what happened. And I mean, it grew so much, and then now we're kind of at a standstill, which is fine, because at the end of the day, it's like, is my following count what's most important to me? Absolutely not. Obviously there's things in my brain where it's like, why did it stop? Why did the growth stop? But that's kind of what I've observed. Sorry that it's not more of a concrete of an answer. If you could work with any designer, who would you work with? Goddamn, I would love to work with Vivienne Westwood. I would love to just have a conversation with her. But God, yeah, anything. Like, I think I'd faint if they sent me like a PR, let alone like actually like styling a show or like being part of their team. I would lose my goddamn mind if I had that opportunity. So that would be a dream. Alexander McQueen, that man was a genius. Genius. And I would like love to be a part of carrying on his legacy and his vision. It would be really cool. Yeah, I'll say those two. How much do you get paid styling? I got a lot of money questions, like budgeting in New York, how much money do you make, work-life balance, a lot of that. Definitely adjustment, like graduating from college and then being like, okay, you're on your own schedule, like you figure out what you want to do. And you guys know I've talked about this before, my job application process was like it destroyed my mental health and like really tough. Not what I pictured when I graduated, and I'm a big expectation girl. If things don't go how I expect them to, like I have a hard time being flexible, and I'm working on that. So it was really hard. Tyler McGillivray was one of the only people that responded to me and kind of gave me a chance. I took it. I've been working with them ever since. My first day was September 1st and I'm still working with them. I'm still part-time, but that was a balance, like trying to figure out how I could sustain a living with only working part-time and then the rest of my week doing YouTube and Instagram. But like I don't make that much money from YouTube. I'll be transparent here. I make about $200 a month off of AdSense, and I like rarely get sponsors. You know, I reach out to people all the time, brands I use to the day-to-day basis, and I'm like, oh, they work with YouTube creators. I would love to promote their stuff because I've been using it for like 5 years. But it's hard to like get in contact with people and find the right fit. No, we're close to 10K on this platform and this community here that we've created. But like, you know, to brands, that's like not a lot. And then my Instagram account, like apparently you're a micro influencer under 50K. So I'm still not necessarily like a legit influencer. So yeah, I tried to pick up freelance styling and combine it with Instagram and YouTube. So hopefully that would be another kind of form of income. And I'm trying to base all of this on stuff that I love doing, you know? So I don't have to get like a bartender job, barista job or whatever, even though those are amazing things to do and I've considered it. Going back to retail, I was like, oh my God, because I need to make more money to sustain a living in New York. Again, being transparent, my parents do help me. My mom knows like being in this kind of field, it's hard to like make a lot of money off the bat. It's a lot of that you need experience to get experience kind of stuff. So she's been very helpful and very understanding. But again, like I'm the type of person that I hate having to like rely on my safety net in any type of way. So I really want to be fully self-sufficient once it hits a year mark after I've graduated. So this coming May, which is next month, I want to be financially independent. I think multiple streams of income would probably be my best advice when it comes to sustaining living in New York and like trying to follow a similar, I guess, career path, the fashion industry. If you're wanting to do something similar to what I do, I guess, or if you're curious, like that would be kind of like my best suggestion is looking into that. Freelance styling, going back to the question, how much do I make? I've only gotten paid once for any freelance styling gig. I do it purely out of just like passion and joy, and it makes me happy doing it. There is a big community of creators here, photographers, models, stylists, set design, hair, makeup, like everybody kind of in my age where they're still developing their portfolios, trying to build credibility, where they all should be paid, we all should be paid, but we understand that like you might not get that just yet, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, if I'm putting on a shoot with my friend who's a makeup artist, have a hairstylist, my friend who's a photographer, models, it's like, who's the one paying who? Because we all deserve to get paid. When you're doing it just because you have a creative idea, creative vision, or if you're doing it for a model's portfolio, you're being asked by the model, or you're being asked by a publication to do it, or you're being asked to just like work with other creative friends that you've made along the way. Like for me, it's really important to me to develop those relationships and to keep creating. And so a lot of time goes into it, and it's a lot of free labor, but everybody is doing free labor, and it's just like, yeah, I want to support those people. I do want to work with those people. So it's like, it's worth it to me in the end. Obviously, after doing that for a bit, I'm like realizing like this is like the chunk of my week that I'm not working at Tyler, that I ideally do want to be making money, where I'm not making money and investing a lot of time in doing so. Oftentimes I'm spending my own money to pull certain things or buy certain things or whatever, because some pull policies you have to put down a percentage, whatever. I'm trying to make this as simple as I can. Yeah, I don't often get paid, and it'll be like the bigger companies that will have budget, doing shoots probably for brands more that will lead to that budget. But yeah, so that's why I've kind of pulled back from styling. In addition to wanting to create more relationships with showrooms and brands, so that when I do book, you know, shoots or agree to things, agree to style people, I'm not limited, I'm not rushing, I'm not scared that I'm not going to be able to give them 100%, you know? So just been navigating that recently, because then that does kind of dip into that whole like, how are you finding work-life balance? That is part of like my life and what I want to do and have fun. And like in my leisure time, I do love doing photo shoots and working with people and meeting people and like building relationships with them and stuff. Always want to do that, and that's so much fun for me. But it is also work, and it is like, damn, like I wish I was being paid for this, obviously, but like so does everybody here. I'm manifesting that I get to a point in my life where I am paid for those things, or like do get paid enough so that I can do those things for free and I am not, you know, struggling. Sometimes what's good to do is like grab a journal, write out like, I'm gonna do these things to kind of satisfy that like thing in the back of my brain that's saying I should do this for work, or like this would be good for my career. I'm gonna go to this event, I'm gonna spend an hour doing emails, and then for the rest of the day, you know, I'm gonna pop to my favorite store, I'm gonna go on a walk in the park, bake this recipe, I'm gonna catch up with this friend, you know, like things like that where you're kind of like, you're so overwhelmed by, you know, wanting to take care of yourself, wanting to do things that you find fun, wanting to have free time, but also wanting to work, feeling like you're gonna like miss out on an opportunity if you don't do XYZ. It's like, if you write those things down and chunk off this amount of my day on this, and for the rest of the day, I'm gonna do this. Like it's kind of nice, and it helps you like mentally kind of categorize that so you're not so overwhelmed. My mom's always told me, focus on the next important thing you need to get done and like just like go from there. But sometimes journaling and writing that out does help. Something my therapist taught me. So might help you guys, who knows? What did you study at university, and do you think it was worth it? I got other questions. What fashion school did you go to? So I didn't go to fashion school. I went to Fordham, which is a liberal arts school that offers fashion as a minor. I was in between doing that and going to fashion school. I knew I wanted to do fashion like in 8th grade, and I did a bunch of pre-college programs in high school. Ended up going the liberal arts route. When I toured Fordham, they were like, yep, combine fashion minor with communications, super popular, it'll be like great, like a ton of people do it, you're in Manhattan, it's amazing opportunity, like you'll meet so many people, blah blah blah. I'm like, slay, that's perfect. They lied. That minor is so underdeveloped. The minor isn't even offered unless there are professors there to teach the class. There aren't fashion professors. There are professors that teach anthropology, business, sociology, that teach the fashion courses, right? So there's no actual fashion professors. My advisor also like taught a bunch of the fashion classes, kind of initiated every class by being like, oh, I'm not here to talk about trends, I'm not here to talk about designers, I honestly don't care about fashion, I'm here to talk about supply chain, I'm here to talk about, you know, commodity fetishism, where capitalism plays and all of that. And like I'm glad I know those things. I am. Fordham was always about like that higher level critical thinking, all of that. So I was like, okay, but I want to learn about designers, and I want to learn about design and textiles, want to learn about the history of fashion, and I want to talk about trends and why trends reappear and the cycle of fashion. Like I want to know those things, and like where can I learn them? And like it wasn't at Fordham. And so that's why I knew I wanted to go abroad forever in college, and so went to fashion school abroad. Changed my life. So much fun, like exactly what I finally wanted. Was learning exactly what I wanted to learn. Like fashion school in Paris, like I was just like, this is perfect, and got booted, right, because the pandemic, and that's fine. Going back to Fordham and then going back to kind of like my communications classes, you know, everything I learned there was really amazing, and like my favorite classes had nothing to do with fashion. My favorite class at Fordham was Japanese religions. If you go to Fordham, holy shit, take that class. I forget the professor, I think it was Shapira, I don't know, I can put his name right here. Such a good class, it was so good. Yeah, I just found that I learned more about the industry in my internships and my experience outside of school. Not to say that I'm not grateful for like my experience at Fordham, I just like, it wasn't what I expected at all, and I felt like, you know, they kind of made it seem like it was something else. Quick little fun story. For such a small school too, I went to the Lincoln Center campus. You were like fighting for your lives out there unless you were a law student or in Cabelli, which is the business school, you know? So it was just like, I was like, I thought college was supposed to be the place that you go to like finally study what you want to study and like finally be taken seriously, and like I'm not getting either, you know? My freshman year, I'm in orientation, and my advisor was like talking about double majoring, double minoring, and talking about how it's really hard to double major at Fordham because it's a Jesuit university. I'm not a religious person, but that I just went to a school that was Jesuit. You had to take philosophy classes and theology classes on top of the normal gen eds. So it's just like a lot of requirements. So to double major would be a lot. She was like, as an example, was like, see, Chloe knows she wants to major in communications and minor in fashion. She wouldn't be able to double major in those things because thankfully Fordham doesn't offer fashion as a major. Like snickered under her breath. And I was like, what was that? What was that shade? I'm just sitting there like, and when we were all leaving, one of my orientation leaders, I'll never forget this, like pulled me back into the classroom and was like, I'm so sorry for that. And I was like, it's okay. But I was like, what the fuck? And now this bitch is my advisor, right? So I have to go to her for advice and she's not gonna be helpful, right? Because she doesn't believe my career path is valid, you know? Do I regret it? No. Like, thankful for everything. I feel like it's made me more independent and even more sure about what I wanna do. Okay, this sent me, and then I have to go get my bread, but this question, has anybody ever told you you look like Meryl Streep? No, literally never, but slay, I love that. This picture of her I'm obsessed with. Okay, wait, let's do a side by side. Is it giving Meryl? But I love this picture of her. It was my background for like actually months and months. I usually get Saoirse Ronan and Sophie Turner. Those are my two main lookalikes. But some of y'all have commented that I look like Hunter Schafer or Jules. And I don't see that one, but cool. Love Hunter. So I'll take it. Yeah, never heard Meryl Streep before, but thank you. I love that. Okay, let's go get the banana bread. Yo! Not my banana bread looking like a coochie right now. Yep, I am now completely sure that I should have put the banana on it like at this point in the baking process. But now we have a cute sunken banana in the middle of the bread. It'll be a fun surprise. Can't wait. I'm debating trying to put another banana on top. Somebody asked top 3 style icons at the moment. I don't know how to pick just 3. I guess off the top of my head, Iris Law always, Nadia Lee always, Lil Mommy Lonnie, Alana O'Hurley always, Savannah Hudson always, Stevie Nicks, right now all over my Pinterest board, literally love. Mick Jagger, like any fucking outfit ever. Captain Jack Sparrow, the entirety of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Such a serve, like all the fits, so good. Inspo, like young Kate Moss and Naomi Campbell, like 90s supermodel like gives, and it like really serves on some people. The simplicity doesn't draw me in as much, but I feel like the way they did it, like some of Naomi's outfits were not like a spaghetti strap black dress like y'all think it was. All I'm saying. We'll stick with that because I can go on and on. It's so frustrating because I love Q&As because I do want to talk to you guys and answer your questions and anything you're curious about. Like, I want my experience to be y'all's experience. You can like learn from it because that's what's helped me, is learning from other people's experiences and like talking it through with other people and all that. You guys asked so many good questions and I just feel like there's not time for me to answer all of them. A lot of people did ask about like personal style. How did I develop my own personal style? How to find confidence when it comes to your personal style and things like that. And I talked about that in this Q&A. I'll link it in the description, but it was this video and I think it was more like tailored to those questions. So I'll refer you to that because I've definitely spoken on that before a lot. Okay, my camera died, so I had to charge it for a little bit. The banana bread looks gross, but it's delicious. I cut it up. Here's a little bit. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Favorite movie, just because I'm curious. Classic childhood movie that I could watch a million times, is Master of Disguise. How do you deal with weird looks that you are getting for your fits, trying to be more confident? It's hard because, you know, in New York, it's like, it's New York, so like most of the time people are expecting randomness, craziness, just like it's part of the vibe, you know. It's a fashionable city, which like it's true, but like you definitely still get stares and like, you know, there's the cat calling thing and people being gross, all of that. But yeah, you also do get some strange looks here and there. More than ever though, you get compliments. Like I feel like people are more likely to give you a compliment here than anywhere. Like people just like blurt out, yell across the street. I think one way to help if you're alone is listening to music, not too loud so you can like hear your surroundings, but listening to music, walking to a beat always makes me feel confident. Anything by Azealia Banks, my number one advice is to be with a group of friends that like make you feel good, you know, just being with people so you could just like brush them off, kind of like walk off together, talk, be engaged with your friends, and like kind of like ignore it, like not think about it, or people that'll just be like, fuck them, like you look so good, like just like forget about that, you know what I'm saying? So like, I know you're not always gonna be walking around with your squad, but I think that's probably the best way to just kind of like ignore it, feel confident, be comforted in like a group setting while you're walking around. If not, music in, FaceTime somebody, so like outside shit is like, it's not as like prevalent while you're walking, you know, just like also like you're just like engaged with somebody else, so like maybe people will ignore you or like not say anything to you, but like, I mean, I'm literally just speaking in New York. I don't know about anywhere else, but those are kind of like my tactics, I guess, from leaving the house. I'm gonna end it with this question because you guys are so sweet for asking me this. Multiple people asked me this, but it was just a simple, how are you doing? You know, how are you? How's life? And I thought that was so cute and it made me smile. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm excited for the summer and the next coming months. I've just been trying to like be present in each of my days and not focus on like planning things out as much or setting expectations and things like that. Trying to limit my social media use when it comes to Instagram. Instagram's the girl that'll get me comparing and spiraling. So I've been trying to do that and just like focus on the things that make me happy right now. Also like love treating myself every day. I feel like that's like a thing that I've been loving. It's just like watching a movie I haven't seen in a while, or like watching a movie I haven't seen ever, and like kind of like cutting out that time in my day so that I do have free time at night to watch a movie and still go to bed at a time that I am happy with, or like go get my nails done, or like go get boba, or like go get my favorite Starbucks drink at the moment, which nobody asked me this, but I'm going to tell you, is a peach green tea with 2 scoops of matcha. Simple, easy, refreshing, delicious. But yeah, okay. Y'all are the best. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. I hope it's not too insanely long. Thank you to everybody that sent me questions. I love you all. I wish I could answer them all, but we don't have time, and I'm a chatty bitch, so you guys know. We'd be here forever. Bye guys. Love ya.